Alright, so I'm in the process of installing a Delkevic high mount muffler on my 95 VFR. I thought it'd be pretty straightforward. Thought I was kind of in the home stretch. Had everything sort of bolted up, but I got to this piece, the mounting bracket, and couldn't figure out how it went on right away. I got it figured out, so I thought I'd do a little video because it's not as straightforward as you might think, and the instructions are kind of clear as mud. I kind of think that they have one set of instructions for all 10,000 mufflers that they make. So, I mean, the instructions literally say install a muffler with provided mounting bracket, and I had the fairing on. And with the fairing on, you can't really tell where it mounts, so I had to do a little bit of figuring out. And in their defense, they have a number here, or they have an email that you can send pictures to if you get kind of lost in your can't figure out the install. I didn't want to bother with that, so I thought I'd do a video to show people where this thing goes. So first of all, you have to take off your fairing, your rear fairing. And if you're doing this in 2020 on a 94 to 97 bike, it's like working with robin's eggs. Just be real careful not to crack it. Mine was cracked in a couple places already, but I don't think I cracked it anymore. But there's like 6 bolts that you got to take out to remove that. It's not too bad, but each one of them uses a different fastener. Like the front ones use a hex fastener, and there was a random bolt here, which actually I found out gets replaced, and then a couple bolts up here in the top. So once you get to that point, it actually looks like a pretty good design, but the bracket actually goes behind your foot peg. So I'm going to take that off and just kind of show you how the thing mounts up. The other thing you'll have to do is it uses this bolt hole right here, but the tab hangs down for the muffler, so you have to make like a little slot here in your inner fender to make that work. So basically it goes like this. You kind of fish it behind the regulator and the brake reservoir there. And this little tab will go down in the little slot that you made, so it ends up down here. And then once you put the fairing back on, they give you another bolt here. I wondered what this extra bolt and washer was for. I thought they gave me extras. But so you put your foot peg back on. I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand, but you put your foot peg back on there, and it holds that pretty solid there. And then once you get the fairing back on, you put the other fairing mounting bolt in. So it's got 3 points that holds it up, and then hopefully it's gonna, see if I can do this, it's gonna come up like that, and then you'll have this clamp here goes around the muffler. Where's the muffler? There it is. And then it should just bolt into that bracket, something like that. So I'm going to get that all done, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like after it's done. Okay, so here's what it looks like with the bracket installed. A little tip I'll give you, these 3 bolts didn't line up on the first try. Like I put these in and tightened them up, and this one was a little bit off. I don't know why. It's probably not the bracket. It's probably people sitting on this seat for 40,000 miles has put the frame out of spec. But there's a little bit of play, so keep all 3 of these loose and put this one in, then tighten these up pretty good, because you'll have to take this one out again to put the fairing back on. But that's what it's supposed to look like, and then you just have your little tab down here. Hopefully, we'll find out in a minute, that it should catch the bracket on the muffler here and put everything in place where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, a couple more things I've learned here. Don't put your fairing on first because the fairing covers up where this bolt goes. I found that out the hard way. I also found out the bracket is made of surgical steel. So after I took care of that, I got everything mounted up. So you had to fiddle with it a little bit, but also make sure you cut your hole big enough so that the bracket can get up through it. I didn't know I needed to do that, but you kind of have to. You got to make sure that this bracket that goes around the muffler has space to get up into here. It's all just kind of a tight fit. But I think I got everything on here, and everything's kind of looks like it's got enough clearance. It's a little close to the tire, but I've got a bigger tire on here too because I've got the older wheel on it, which is wider. Which is kind of the reason I got this thing, is to show off the wheel. So I'm gonna button everything back up and then maybe start it up and see what. Kind of thought this was going to be a 10-minute job and I'd go out and take some pictures of it, but it's dark now, so I guess I'll have to take pictures tomorrow, but I'll probably start it up just to see what it sounds like. So back in a minute. One other quick note here. I said earlier that I was having problems with this bolt lining up. It seemed like it was a little bit off or tight or whatever, and I thought you had to leave it out to go through the fairing. It turns out it's not. I thought it was the bolt that goes in here, but it's not. It's just an empty hole that's down here. It must be made for stuff like this. So I'll take back what I said before. When you're putting this bracket in, leave these loose and get this one lined up, and then you can just go ahead and put this bolt right here in, and then tighten them all up, because it all just gets covered up by the fairing. I thought it went through the fairing, but it doesn't. Alright, so she's all buttoned back up, no leftover pieces. I really like the way it looks. Sorry I can't I'm too lazy to get it off the center stand and drag it out to get a better picture of it, but you get the idea of what it looks like. Shows off the wheel better. I like that. So I guess I'll get a bunch of hate mail if I don't do an actual startup. So I'll let you hear what it sounds like, even though in these videos you can't really tell too much what it sounds like, but we'll give it a shot. So it's not bad. It sounds pretty good. It actually sounds a lot like the two brothers that I took off of it. So I'm gonna polish that thing up. But I like the way it looks raised up higher and showing off the single-sided swing arm. So I'm pretty happy with it. It seems like a pretty nicely made piece. Just took a little doing to get it on there, but once you know what you have to do, it seems to fit pretty good. So hopefully this helps somebody out. I don't know how many people are still working on these bikes and putting stuff on them, but you can get it. I think they sell most of their stuff on eBay. I got it off of eBay. It was It was around 200 bucks. So it's about average for a pipe like that. They make a 14-inch one too. That's a little bit more expensive, and I think sounds about the same from what I've heard. But I went with the 9-inch one just for something a little bit different. I love the way the bike sounds with just about any pipe on it. So, anyways, my fingers are getting cold, so I'm gonna call tonight, and hopefully I can get a day here where I can ride it and see what it sounds like when I'm riding.